Hi fellow beaders, it's JP. How are you guys today? I know, I haven't posted in about 3 weeks and I do apologize for that. It is crazy. My job just got busier, and then of course, once I get busier at work, I don't have as much time to make the tutorials. And the tutorials can be, time consuming to make. But today I have for you this bracelet, and I'm calling it Victorian Opulence, mainly because it uses a lot of crystals and it has that nice sort of Victorian look to it. Let me pull it back a little. I'm a little too close there to the camera, but I hope you guys will like this. So dig out your bicones, but you don't have to use bicones. I'm using 4mm bicones here, but I think you can also do this with pearls or round fire polish and rondelles. So it's sort of interchangeable. I think it looks the best with the bicones, but again, you don't have to use that. And I'm going to give you a close-up and give you all the bead requirements in just a second here. Anyway, I hope you all are doing well, and if you do end up liking this video, please comment, like, give it a thumbs up, and of course subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Anyway, let's get started. Alright guys, here's the close-up of the bracelet. So here we have it. So I made the bracelet for my wrist, which is, so from this loop to this loop, this does not include the clasp. It is 5.5 inches. And you will need 102, or I used 102 4mm bicones. So you guys can kind of figure it out based on that. So if you need another 1.5 inches, you kind of have an idea of what you need to do. So the length of each of these sort of component, I guess if I should say, from the central bead to that is just under 1 inch. So if you guys can see that, it's just under 1 inch. And, oh, there we go. Looks like 7/8 of an inch or so is what that looks like. So, so this one individual component here uses 12 beads, and then these are obviously 2 embellishments there. So the way this is made by components, and then we add embellishments. And you'll see as you watch the video. Anyway, I hope that gives you an idea of what you need. The seed beads I used are Toho's, and they are number 83 metallic bronze iris. The colors of the bicones, so this the bicones over here, the lighter colored, is called Golden Shadow. These are both Swarovski, and they're 4mm. The other bicone, the purple-looking bicone, is Tanzanite. That's the name of the color that Swarovski uses. And you'll need a clasp of your choice with a couple of jump rings. I used so in the video I'm using a size 10 beading needle, but I'm going to go ahead and recommend using a 12. Because I found that we go through the beads so many times, it'll be a lot easier if you're using a size 12. So something, well, at least smaller than a 10 for sure. And I used Wildfire Thread, and it was the gray is what I've used here to kind of help it blend in better. I always find the white is too bright, or it stands out too much. And I thought the black you can see through it with the crystals, whereas the gray I think blends in a lot better. So I'm using the 0.006 inch or 0.15mm Wildfire Gray. And that's it. I think I gave you all the info you need. This will also be in the description box down below the video. So if you are new to this, then that's where you need to look for all this information. I have it all written out too. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so to start our bracelet, what you are going to do is pick up 3 11-aught beads, then a bicone, 11 bicone, then 3 11s again, then bicone, 11 bicone, and so forth until you have 4 sets. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 sets of my 3 11s, and I also have 4 sets of my bicone 11 bicone. So this is what you want. And then what we're going to do is tie a square knot. And Ugh, I'm always so clumsy with this when I do this on camera. Okay, so that kind of got away from me here. So let me try again. There we go. And now get it all secured. Well, I know you guys know how to make a knot, so I'm not too worried about this looking a little bit off, but anyway, that's what you want. So you'll get that. And then what we're going to do is go through the bicone and come out of the 11-0 bead here. And seems my lighting is like flipping around. Hold on. Make sure we're in focus here. We have good lighting. Okay. So you want to come out of that 11-0. And then what you're going to do is pick up 3 11s and go back through the 11, the bicone, and the next 11 there, like so. Now what you're going to do is skip this middle 11, and you're going to go into the 11 and the bicone and the next 11 after that. So you're going through 3 beads. Now you want to make sure that this pops up. So we want to create basically a picot like I did there. So you want to give the thread a little bit of a tug, and if the bead doesn't pop up, just take your needle and push it upwards. Now for this one, we are going to again pick up 3 11s. Or actually, for this one, because it's going to be for our clasp loop. Nope, this is right. Sorry. We are going to go ahead and pick up 3 11s and go back through. Like so. And then continue onward through the bicone and the next 2 11-0s. So this one, we're actually going to make the clasp loop. So to do that, what you're going to do is pick up 4 11s and just go back through that center bead, just the one in the middle, like so. And I'm just going to flip this so that I can work in the upward direction. And then I'm going to go through this first 11 here. Then I am going to pick up another 11 and I'm going to go through this next 11. Like so. Then pick up another 11, go through this next one here. And once more, pick up an 11 and go through this one and the one in the center. And so this is our loop for the clasp. So this is something you're just going to do on the bracelet at the end. So this is, if you were working on a middle section, then you wouldn't do this step. You would just do what I was doing there, where you skip over the beads. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the work this way so I can continue working in this upward direction. I'm going to go through the next 11 here, the bicone, and I want to exit out of the single 11 here. Now you want to pick up 3 11s again and go back through the 11 and then the bicone and this next 11. So this is what you have so far. Now here, what you're going to do is skip this 11 in the middle and go into the third 11 and the bicone. And you want to make sure you give it a tug so this pops up. Whoops. And there we are. Now in this one, we're going to pick up 3. So I went through this center 11 and we're going to pick up 3 11s and go back through it again. So this is what you should have so far. All right, now go through the bicone and the next 11. And skip the middle one and go through the third one and the bicone. So my knot's there, so I'm just going to give that, I'm going to shift it over so my needle can get through. There it goes. And then I'm going to go through the 11 there that's between the 2 bicones. And see how that bead went down? So all you have to do if that happens is just to take your needle and pull it upwards. And then it should pop into place where it needs to go. All right, so for the next step, what you want to do, and I'm going to turn the work again, is you want to go into this bead here. So you're coming out of this bead over here and you want to go up into bead there and then this one here, like so. And now we're going to connect all of these groups of 4 11s together. So you pick up your bicone. So I'm going to switch colors here. So I'm using my let's see, it was my Crystal Shadow, I think it was. Golden Shadow, sorry. Golden Shadow bicone here, and I'm going to go into this one here. And you want to push them towards the center, and they're not going to really want to go at first, but they will come together. Then do it again, pick up another bicone, and go into this one. Repeat, pick up a bicone, go into this next group of 4. So they are coming together, and this little guy. Last time, pick up one more bicone and go into this first one. And then go through the bicone too, because we are going to reinforce the center. And there you go. This is what you should have. And I'm going to go through these beads to tighten this up. You can see a little thread there. So you want to just give everything a nice secure look. Oops. Okay. So now when we want to build our bracelet, what we're going to do is going to be building this way, because here's my loop for the clasp. So you want to continue adding this way. So at some point you want to end up here. And in order to do that, we'll have to exit through this way and work our way that way. So that's sort of the thread path. So let me finish reinforcing. through this bicone and the 11 there. Then up into this 11. Then the 11 over here. Hopefully you guys are able to see all this really clearly. And so we are back to, or not back, but we're in position. Wow, I get really excited easily. Okay. So now to add beads, what you're going to do is pick up an 11, then a bicone, 11 bicone, then 3 11s. Just going to bring those over. Then I'm going to do bicone, 11 bicone, and then 3 again. Once more. Whoops. Bicone, 11 bicone. Not done yet. Got to add one more set. So 3 11s, a bicone, 11 bicone, and one last 11. So this is what you need. So you want to think about it, the way to think about it is, what did I pick up initially? So initially I was picking up a set with a bicone, 11 bicone, and then 3 11s. And that was what I was doing in alternating order. So this one here is going to be one of our 3 11s. Then there's the set of bicones, then 11s, bicones, 11. So there's 4 sets of the bicones and 4 sets of the 11 if you count what's going to be here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now go back through this central 11 odd. Just like so. Now, to continue, what we're going to do is go through this 11 here and the bicone and then come out of the next 11. Now pick up 3 11s and go back through the same 11 and then go through the bicone and the 11 again. Like so. Skip this middle one here and go through the third 11 and then the bicone and the next 11 here. Like so. And again, we are going to add our little grouping like this over here. So I picked up 3 11s and I'm going to go back through this 11 here and then through the bicone and through the next 11. Just make sure these are sitting right and like so there's no like thread showing. I'm going to skip this one in the middle and I'm going to go through this third 11 in that group and then through the bicone and out of this next 11 here. And I'm going to pick up 3 and go back through the bicone, or sorry, the 11. Then go through the bicone and the next 11. skip the middle one. Go through the third 11, the bicone, and this next 11. Like so. Pick up 3 11s. And go back through the 11, the bicone, and then this next 11 here. So now what you're going to do is you are going to skip this 11 here, and you're going to go through the third 11 in this group now. And then through the bicone and through the 11 over here. And this is what you should have so far. Now, what I'm going to do is just going to go, I need to get up into this bead here. So I'm just going to turn this over so I can work in this direction. So go into that, 11 there, then the next 11 at the top, and now I can connect all of these little groups here to create the centerpiece. So what you're going to do now is pick up a bicone and go into this next 11. Like so. Again, pick up a bicone. Connect them together. And one last one. Get them all there. So we have our second component done. Now I'm just going to reinforce the center by going through the beads again. Then I need to come out to this point bead to start the next component. So you want to go to this 11 here, and then you want to work your way this way. So go up into this 11, then the next 11, bicone 11, and the 11 that you need to be exiting. All right, so now you get to continue on your own. You want to do all of the steps that I'm doing to make the bracelet that you need. And then once you get to that last component, don't forget to make the loop at the end there. And just go back and watch the loop. It's just, you know, you pick up 4 beads and then you add the point beads in between 3 of those beads. And that's it. And then I will show you the next step. So here we are on my last component. So I have reinforced this and I am currently exiting out of this bead here. Now I need to get over here to make my clasp loop this time. So you're going to do basically the same thing you did as you're adding the components. And so you go up into these, go into this next 11. then the 11, the bicone, and that 11 that you want to exit out of. Pick up 4 11s and go back through the central 11 like so, and I'm going to turn the work one more time. This is mostly to make it easier on my wrist, especially when I'm on camera. It's just I don't have to turn my wrist so much, and it helps me stay in frame. So now you're coming out of that central 11, go up into the first 11 there in that group of 4 that you added, pick up an 11, go into the next one here, and we do it again, pick up an 11, go into the next 11, and one more time, pick up an 11, go into the next 11, and the 11 in the middle. So you're welcome to reinforce this again if you want. Same thing with that first loop that I showed you how to make on this end. It feels fairly secure, and I'm just putting on a jump ring there, so it should be fine. Now for this next step, what we need to do is actually get over into this bicone, way over here. So basically we're just going to follow the thread path this way. So I'm just going through beads. I am not adding any beads. I am just going through as many beads as I can. Now just turning. And then through this 11. So I'm going to skip the one in the middle. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and go through it because I think I'll have thread showing there that I don't want. Nope, I lied. You have to go through that. You have to skip that one. There we go. That's what you need. Now you pick up an 11, bicone, 3 more 11s, another bicone, and 1 more 11. And what you're going to do is go through this bicone here. So you're here and you want to go through this one. And this is what you're going to get. So you'll have this nice loop. So now you just want to reinforce this, and so you continue on the same thread path. You go through these 2 11s here, the bicone, like so. I'm just going to turn and go through the 11, the bicone, and the 11 here. Skip this middle one, so it'll make it a nice sharp point, and then go down into the 11, the bicone, and the 11 here. And there you have it. Now we just repeat over and over. So now you need to get over to this bicone here. So coming out of that 11, go through the bicone and the 11. come up through this 11. Make sure you guys are seeing that. The bicone, and then I'm continuing through all of these beads here. Then, again, we're not adding beads, we're just going and getting in position. Go through a few more. Continue on just through the 11 and the bicone. And again, you pick up an 11, a bicone, 3 bicones, or 3 bicones, 3 11s, another bicone, and 1 more 11. So you're coming out of this one, you want to go into this one over here. And there you have it. Go through the 11, the bicone. So I'm reinforcing. That's essentially what I'm doing here. Then I'm going to go into the 11, bicone, and the first 11. I'm going to skip that middle one, and I'm going to go into the next 11. And looks like I got my thread caught here. Well, I'm going to fix that afterwards, but basically what you're going to be doing is then skip this one here, go through the 11, the bicone, and that 11. Like so. That gets that nice sharp point, and then you just go into your bicone over here. And now you're going to continue all the way till the end of the bracelet to the side. So basically what you would do is you would continue onward, you would go through this 11 and then get yourself into position to this bicone and then add in this extra embellishment there. And I'm going to go ahead and fix this little bit because it looks like I accidentally skipped a bead, didn't mean to. So I'll fix that and I will then show you what to do on the other side, which is going to be basically the same thing. So I just added my last embellishment here on one side of the bracelet, and I went ahead and reinforced it so you can see I have a nice sharp peak here. So I went through that and I am coming out of this 11. So I basically went all the way around and then, or went around and came back through. So now I need to get to this crystal here. So instead of going down and through and around, we're just going to take a little bit of a shortcut and go through this. So go through the bicone here, and well, let's do the bicone first. Then the 11, these two 11s right next to each other. And this 11 and this next bicone. So you see we are now in position to add. So now pick up an 11, bicone, then our 3 11s, another bicone, and 11. And we go across to this bicone here. Let's see. Oh, there it is. There's a needle. It's gone through the 11 too. So now we reinforce it. So go through this 11, the bicone, up between or up through the 11 bicone, 11 there, skip that central one. Go through the 11s. Go through the 11 and a bicone. Get this to pop up. Like so. And let's see, where am I coming out? Oh yeah, coming out of the 11 there. So I'm just going to go through my bicone here and my 11 once more. And now you just want to make your way to this 11 or this bicone here, and you continue adding to the other side. And then we'll be done. So I just added on my last embellishment here, and my thread's fairly short too. So I'm actually going to go ahead and reinforce this to get that peak that I like. Which, by the way, you guys don't have to do that step. It's just kind of up to you. I thought it looked better. You know, if you look at this versus this, I think it looks a lot better with it being all pointed. So I am just reinforcing and there we have it. So now before I continue, I'm just going to go ahead and tie a 1/2 inch knot here. And then go through the bicone. Now I can continue. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go through my 11-0 that's here in the center. And then through this 11-0 here. And tie one more 1/2 inch. I think that's all I'm going to be able to do because of the length of the thread, but that should be sufficient. And partially I'm not the reason I'm not worried about tying, you know, a total of 3 knots is because we've gone through these beads multiple times, so that I don't think anything's really going to get too loose or come undone. And there we go. Oh, unthreaded my needle. And that happens when it gets this short. But all I want to do is just weave the thread away from the knot a little bit and then cut the thread. And there we are. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that. Move these leftover beads over. I seem to have missed. Oh, here it is. I have way too many things on my desk. So, just grabbed my tools to open up these jump rings. Oops. Oh, there we go. And you can use any type of clasp you want. I have used a lobster claw, but it's really up to you. Let's do this on the other side. There we go. All right, there you have it. Here is my Victorian Opulence bracelet, and I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did like the video, please go ahead and like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.